Yes. Hello, my inquisitive viewers. You caught me again, quite on the dolly. I was enjoying some of my eloquent hot coffee, a fine year, I might say, listening to my David Perry and the London Philharmonic Orchestra. My hot coffee, my hot cocoa, maybe besides, was made of an eloquent, water-based, a fine year, and of a fine cocoa, enriched with that of 2% milk. I dare say we have gone the extra percent. And with a dash of honey. Quite eloquent indeed. The same sophistication and poise and decorum cannot be said, I must say, about Transformers, Age of Extinction. For it is quite horrible, I must say. It lacks any sort of refine in any regard for the viewer's money and time. It is a complete waste of it in actuality, and furthermore, a complete waste of talent from a director that I had such hope for in his earlier years. You see, when he did movies like The Rock and other things of that nature, he was a tour de force. It was great. It was a magnificent action, poise, and drama. It enriched the soul. It didn't really do that, but you get the point. Let me take a wet my whistle a bit here. Oh, that's fine. Oh, that is a fine glass of cocoa. But, you see, it lacks Transformers, though. He has, Michael Bay has gone beyond his reach, his grasp of what he would obtain. And it is far greater exasperated by the fact that he has so much credibility by the audience's proclamation, though he has really no credibility. I mean, look what he's done to the Transformers franchise as a whole. It is not Transformers, but should be called humans doing stuff with large robots, because really, the Transformers, as much as it is upon the title, it takes a lesser stand than what it should, and it is truly depressing. It perturbs me to the greatest degree. Must smoke my air pipe. Yes. It concerns me, I say. Because a movie like the Transformers should have such great grandeur to it. Many say, though, that it is something that you don't go for the story. Okay, that's understandable. There are some movies, like the Sharknado stories. You know, you don't necessarily, the movies, you don't go for the story necessarily, which is the sheer ridiculousness of it all. And it's understandable. But Transformers is a beloved series that has done so much more, and I've had so much hope for. And Michael Bay has definitely made it his movie franchise. For who else has done a movie of that magnitude? Nobody else. So we must trust in him, but he has abused that trust. He has not been kept in check. When you made 3 movies that have done as well as they have, I will give him credit for that. And I will go into greater detail as to why it is such a wretched movie. You see, the characters, I do not like them at all. They're simply horrible. I mean, what is to like about a farmer who's a failure, who is just an idiot, and he's a total jerk? He is a scoundrel and a rascal. That scene where he basically pays great insult and offense to that driver who he had crashed into, accidentally, mind you, but his poise about it was just totally offensive and in no regard likable. And how he basically broke a Bud Light or some alcoholic beverage upon the man's vehicle and basically said, "Up yours, sir, good sir." And it lacked any decorum or poise of what we would want from a character that we want likable. A character does not necessarily have to be perfect. He could have faults, but the faults that the characters had were not the kind that you would want for your main protagonist. The boyfriend and his daughter, that was just weird. She's 17. Man, dude, that is pandering upon rape, basically, and on sexual, just dirty. It's dirty. She's 17. That's not legal for most adults who are watching that, who may have those desires, I may say. Because Michael Bay is definitely he is no Mary Andrew in that regard. But it is not excusable. They would use some Romeo and Juliet excuse for it. I do not tolerate such actions. No, and the character, the boyfriend, is totally, he's even more of a scoundrel and a rascal than the main character of Cade. And it just, it annoys me to a highest degree, that they would allow someone to be as someone we're rooting for. We are supposed to root for these characters. It's one thing if that character was a character like in Titanic, where the main boyfriend who originally with Rose, he was horrible. We didn't like him. We weren't supposed to, so they made him look horrible, which was important. But we were supposed to root for it. What were we supposed to root for? And the scenes, why did it have to be 3 hours long almost? 2 hours and 44 minutes to be exact. I did not think that was necessary. If it's not Lord of the Rings, it should not be of that length. It's a Transformers movie, for bloody crying out loud. It should be only 2 hours, that's max. And there could have been plenty of scenes they could have taken out. That blackmailing scene, that whole prospect, there was no need for it. Nothing came from it, in the sense, nothing of substance, stuff did come from it, but whatever did come from it didn't need to happen. It could have happened elsewhere, and it could have been far cooler. The Transformers sieging the base, basically, that scientific laboratory, could have happened regardless if the Cade character, the Mark Wahlberg character, had come and done what he did. It wasn't necessary, and would have made for a far more impactful experience if Optimus Prime, upon the realizing that his brethren have been mutilated and desecrated in such a manner as they have by the Americans, that he would have just stormed up and been like, let's go, right now, Autobots roll out. Autobots roll out. Let me get another drink of my fine brandy. That's nice. But it just, it's unnerving. Where does he get off? Lord, it's hard to talk like this. And that's another thing. The man's accent, the Scottish man, he was supposed to, the boyfriend, his accent just changed depending on how how it fit him. It didn't seem like they just let him just kind of do it. And it's like, what's happening here? And there was some scenes where I just don't buy that. When they go off the ramp in the beginning, when they're getting chased by the evil bad guys who are bad because they are wearing black, they had no likability. Once again, a flat villain. And where was Galvatron? He was in there minimally. He's the main villain. Now I will admit, Lockdown was a cool Transformer. Though this night business of the Transformers, it didn't really delve into it enough. What was going on? They just had that, and then they just kind of didn't do it. Well, a movie to be almost 3 hours long, and then have so much confusion. It's understandable to have cliffhangers. Like when Darth Vader, it tells Luke that he's his father. That's okay, because there's another movie. Now granted, there are 2 other movies for which they can explain these details. But beyond that, it's still unacceptable in any regards. I will admit it was cool when Optimus Prime rode out on Grimlock. That was pretty cool, I will admit. But I didn't like how the Transformers, the Autobots, were so separated for such a long period of time. It seemed like they really didn't like each other. Now, it could be that they were playing off that because they've been separated for so long. But that prospect should have been eliminated very early on when Optimus Prime regained control of the group. He should have been like, get your act together, everyone. We have greater things. Now, I would admit I did like the sort of jadedness of Optimus Prime, of the humans, because of what they've done and the breaking of their trust. But I believe he should have gotten rid of that before the end of the movie. By the end, he was okay, but before then, all the way up until the end, he had this sort of detestability for them. And yet then you have this Cade fellow who just follows Optimus Prime just because he was chosen. It would have been okay if he just said, I don't even know why. I'm just gonna have this feeling that I should do something right. And that would have been more okay if you ask me. This video's been going on for far too long. Very winded, long, I might say. And another thing, where was my Linkin Park song at the end? At the end of the Transformers movies, there was at least a Linkin Park song, and they were good ones too. Lullaby, What I've Done. Grand songs of the Linkin Park album anthology. And I get Imagine Dragons. I don't mind Imagine Dragons. I have 2 of their songs. And it just shows that must be going in a different direction. Now, there is hope for the series. There is hope, I'd say, by George. Because apparently, Transformers will not be directed by Michael Bay anymore. He has lost that privilege. Apparently, Christopher Nolan, I may be out of turn in my speaking. But if it was Christopher Nolan, there is grand hope, because he could definitely take that direction. I would be okay with the dark aspect that he's done with the things like The Dark Knight. So we will have to see, my friends, if such hopes will come to fruition, or what hope may be kindled. But for now, my friends, I leave you. Now, I must leave you. I believe my time here has been far too spent, and I hope you have a nice evening, because I sure had quite an eloquent one, an entertaining one with you fine folks. So I wish you, I bid you farewell, my friends, and as always, you stay classy.